Because when everything seems calm, that's when the deeper things start to move. You may think this week is quiet, ordinary, almost predictable. But that's the illusion. What's unfolding right now, beneath the surface, is a silent, energetic storm, and no one is paying attention. Just a few days ago, a full moon eclipsed the sky, and now we're speeding toward a new eclipse. This time, a solar one. 2 eclipses in the same lunar cycle? That's no coincidence. It's a call, a closure, a reopening of portals that shake up everything. Your path, your feelings, your decisions. But the eclipse, maybe it's not even the biggest shock of this week. There's a day that no one is watching. A moment that could turn your life upside down. Most won't realize it until it's too late. And that's why you need to keep watching. Because what's coming will go right through you. You need to see this before tomorrow. Not next week. Not later. Now. Because something is moving. Quietly. Invisibly. Right beneath the surface of what feels like an ordinary week. Everything seems normal, maybe even peaceful. But don't let that fool you. That's exactly when the shift begins. That's when the current changes. That's when fate starts writing a new page in ink you can't see yet. Over the past few days, energy has been building, waiting. And this week is not like any other. 2 eclipses, 1 lunar, 1 solar, back-to-back in a single moon cycle. This isn't random. This is a signal, portal, a test. And whether you realize it or not, you're already in it. You're standing at a threshold, and in just a few days, everything could change. Not because of something dramatic on the outside, but because of what's waking up inside you. So if something feels off, if time feels strange, if your thoughts feel louder, if your dreams start speaking in symbols, you're not imagining it. You're being called. And the only question is, will you answer? Everything looks calm. Normal sky, normal day, normal rhythm. But what you're seeing is only the surface. This week holds a different kind of tension. Not loud, not obvious. It hums in the background, subtle, but relentless. That feeling you can't quite name, that tug in your chest, that weird pressure behind your thoughts, that's the shift. Energy is rearranging itself. Paths are realigning, but not with explosions or signs in the sky. It's quiet, almost too quiet. And that's the most dangerous kind of storm. The one that brews beneath, untouched by noise, untouched by logic. While you go about your day, life is already moving you towards something. Something big. This isn't chaos yet. It's the pause before. The air gets still. Your emotions start glitching. Time feels like it's stretching and collapsing at once. You know the way animals sense earthquakes before they happen? That instinct that something's off, but they can't explain why? That's the frequency we're walking in right now. Because what's happening this week isn't meant to be seen with your eyes. It's meant to be felt. So pay close attention. Not to what's loud, but to what's quiet. Not to what's said, but to what's shifted. Because while most people are chasing what's visible, you're being invited to sense what's rising beneath it all. 2 eclipses, 1 lunar, 1 solar, in the same moon cycle. That doesn't happen often. And when it does, it means something is closing, and something else is trying to break through. The lunar eclipse already passed. A total blackout of emotion, clarity, and old patterns. It pulled shadows from the past up to the surface, exposed what needed to be let go. Now we race toward the second one, a solar eclipse on March 29th. But this isn't just astronomy. This is spiritual architecture. When 2 eclipses happen back to back, it's not random, it's a reset sequence. A timeline is ending. Another is beginning. Eclipses are cosmic interruptions. They slam doors shut, even ones we were too afraid to close ourselves. And they open others we never expected. But here's the thing. Most people will only see the beauty, the moon, the alignment, the shadow passing over the sun. But they'll miss what really matters. Because what's happening behind the eclipse, what's happening in the silence of the blackout, is what will shape the next chapter of your life. This solar eclipse isn't just blocking light. It's shifting destiny. It's not about what you see. It's about what you feel What gets stirred up in your chest? What suddenly makes no sense? Or suddenly makes too much sense? This is a portal. A moment where the universe presses pause on the old story and asks if you're finally ready for the new one. Something strange is happening in the sky, and barely anyone is talking about it. Saturn, the planet of karma, discipline, structure, truth, is hiding its rings. To the naked eye from Earth, the signature, its symbol of power, shrinks into a razor-thin line. For the first time in 15 years, Saturn looks invisible. And when the planet of truth disappears, that's not coincidence. That's a message. Saturn is the great teacher, the enforcer. It brings the lessons we don't want, but absolutely need. It shows us what we've been avoiding, what we've been lying to ourselves about, what we're pretending isn't there. But now, the teacher isn't speaking. The truth is going quiet. The lesson hides in plain sight. And when Saturn falls silent, it's because something is about to be revealed. So ask yourself, what has been lurking just beneath the surface? What haven't you said? What haven't you faced? Because when Saturn's rings vanish, so do your excuses. So do your blind spots. The universe isn't punishing you. It's preparing you. This isn't just about astrology. It's about what you're being asked to finally see. About yourself, your choices, your path. And it's all leading up to a collision. Moon meets Saturn. Emotion meets law. Heart meets truth. And that's where everything changes. March 27th. A day most people won't even notice. But you will. Because something shifts. The moon draws closer to the sun than usual. A rare moment called perihelion. And when that happens, your inner world doesn't just whisper. It roars. Thoughts get louder. Dreams feel sharper. Gut feelings hit harder. Like thunder rumbling beneath your skin. This isn't paranoia. It's perception. Heightened. Turned up. Unfiltered. Something inside you knows, this day matters. Have you ever had that moment when something finally clicks? Not because it's new, but because you finally saw what was always there. That's this energy. It brings the truth you've been circling around, the clarity you've been craving, the decision you've been avoiding. And here's the twist. It won't shout at you. It'll show up in flashes. A name you can't stop thinking about. A memory that returns out of nowhere. A pull toward something that feels significant, even if you don't know why yet. That's your higher self breaking through. Not through noise, but through knowing. And the more you trust it, the more it shows you. But here's the part no one tells you. Clarity can hurt, because sometimes the truth is not what you wanted it to be. Sometimes the lie felt safer. And now you're standing in the space between the comfort of denial and the discomfort of growth. This is where most people backtrack. But not you. You're here. And that means something inside is already waking up. You were warned. And now, we're here. March 28th. A day buried in the middle of the week. A date most people will scroll past. But for those who feel it, it's a breaking point. Because today, the moon aligns with Saturn. Emotion meets discipline. Feeling crashes into karma. And it doesn't go down easy. If you wake up heavy, if your chest tightens, if you feel foggy, restless, raw, you're not broken. You're just facing it. This is where the universe stops asking politely. This is the cosmic intervention. Something inside you is resisting. A truth you don't want to face. A decision you've delayed. An old wound you've convinced yourself was healed. But Saturn doesn't care about what you're ready for. Cares about what's necessary. You're being called to rise, not in comfort, but in courage. So if it hurts today, if everything feels harder than it should, don't run from it. Don't numb it. Don't explain it away. Own it. Stand in it. Look straight at whatever's surfacing and ask yourself, what am I still carrying that I promised I'd let go? Because this pain isn't random. It's preparation. This collision is setting the stage for something massive. Because just one day later, the sun begins to disappear. And you need to be ready. The sun disappears. Not completely, just enough to unsettle something primal. Partial solar eclipse. March 29th. A moment that splits the sky and splits you too. Because when the light fades, clarity fades with it. Logic, reason, control, they all dim. And what rises in the silence of that shadow is the part of you you've tried to forget. Eclipses aren't just about what happens in the sky. They're about what gets stirred inside. The memories, the patterns, the fears, the version of you that only wakes up when the lights go out. This isn't just a cosmic event. This is an energetic blackout. Some will feel lost, disoriented, haunted by emotions they thought they'd buried. Others will feel a strange pull, like being caught between two timelines, the past that's still calling, and the future that's not fully formed. This is the choice point, portal in motion, the universe saying, you can't go back, you can only transform. Because when the sun disappears, the veil between worlds thins. The ancient ones knew this. This is when the messages come through, when omens get louder, when silence speaks louder than sound ever could. So pay attention to your dreams, to your thoughts, to the moments that feel oddly significant. Write them down, honor them, because this eclipse is not just closing a chapter, it's reprogramming your reality. The clarity will return, but not before the darkness teaches you something first. There's no light now, no glow, no guidance, just shadow. The dark moon has arrived. This is the part of the cycle that most people fear, not because of what happens outside, but because of what rises within. When the moon disappears, you have no choice but to feel, to listen, to face what you usually outrun with noise, distraction, or denial. This phase doesn't offer signs. It doesn't offer confirmation. It offers you, just you, and the weight of your own thoughts, your own doubts, your own dreams asking if you're really ready for them. Most people don't pass this part. They panic. They look for proof, reassurance, signs from the outside that it's going to be okay. But there is no proof. There is only trust. This is the space between stories, where the old has fallen away and the new hasn't taken form yet. It's uncomfortable, uncertain, and completely necessary, because transformation doesn't happen when you're sure. It happens when you're brave enough to move forward in the dark. The ones who hold steady through this phase, the ones who keep going even when nothing makes sense, those are the ones who emerge changed, stronger, clearer, wiser, because the dark moon doesn't take anything from you. It only strips away the noise, so you can hear what's been inside you all along. And once the light returns, nothing will look the same. Now we stand at the edge. The last days of March are falling behind, and ahead lies something new. Not just a month, a timeline. April doesn't begin with a clean slate. It begins with a decision, because all the shifts, the chaos, the silence, the storm, they weren't random. They were preparing you. This final week of March was a cosmic filter. What are you willing to release? What are you brave enough to keep? The universe has been watching, not what you say you want, but what you actually choose. And now the energy is locking in. Paths are being set. New chapters are opening, not automatically, but based on everything you did when things weren't clear. This is the part no one talks about. You don't just walk into a new life. You build it, step by step, belief by belief, choice by choice. And that moment, that opportunity, is here now. So ask yourself, when you look back on this week a month from now, will you be proud that you moved forward? Or will you wish you hadn't hesitated? The door is open. The energy is live. The future is listening. So what are you going to do with it?